Take 3. This is Lewis Hart of a Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store, Forged Irish Stout, freebets.com. Delighted to be joined with Ben Shalom. We're here at the Bronx Gym. It's a massive fight week. Fabio Wardley takes on Frazer Clarke. You must be absolutely buzzing, delighted for deliver a big fight and I suppose a big card for the fans of the O2 on Sunday night.
Yeah, a huge fight, and it feels like a breakthrough because if you look through the card, Frazer Clarke, Ben Whittaker, Vidal Riley, Florian Marcoux, Callum Simpson, all fighters that a lot of them debuted with that have been on this journey. To think that if you look back to when we first started, we had to use different fighters, Eubank Jr. and Josh Taylor and Amir Khan, because we didn't have a stable. And so to be at the stage where we've got such a big show like this at the O2 with 13,000 people, set for possible breaking viewership records after the football on Sunday night, it is pretty amazing, and it's just great to be involved in. And when I got into boxing, in terms of growing up young, you always think of those heavyweight nights, and even later on, especially those heavyweight O2 nights. And when I think it's the biggest British heavyweight title since Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte, and saw the platform that gave their careers, and this feels big, and it is big, and it's definitely special to be involved in, and incredible to have a card like this. And as I say, fighters that put our faith in us, that trusted us, that debuted with us, now filling a whole card and being ready for the type of fights that they're taking on. And you only have to look at Vidal Riley's fight to see the tests that they're taking, and it's just an unbelievable card and a massive fight. Obviously, a fight that means a lot to us as well.
I suppose when you fast forward. For this fight, if you fast forward back to, I suppose, May of 2023, everything that happened with the purse bid situation, you show now how it's good to sort of let fights marinate, because that's all part of the story now, and it makes for a bigger fight now it is on the 31st of March.
It's definitely a massive fight now. That wasn't part of the plan. It was difficult because, when you're faced with a decision like that, and as a team, you know you're going to get a huge amount of criticism. It's hard because you're faced with what you feel is right and then what you feel that other people think you should do. And he'd had 6 fights and fought a 6-rounder, and he will be the fastest ever British heavyweight champion on Sunday night. The fastest ever one. And the same people that saying that he ducked it the first time are saying it's far too early this time. You can't win, really. I'm just delighted for the fans, delighted for Frazer that they get the big night, and both of the fighters are so delighted with the way things have turned out. The money that they're earning for Sunday night for a British title fight is unheard of, and it's a huge O2 night. And as I say, I think this will be the most important fight in both of their careers. When they look back, even when they retire, this is such a big fight for both of them. There's so much on the line. And when you look back and you see the story and how it's built, and it couldn't really be bigger.
Absolutely. I know we're a little bit pressed for time, so I'm going to fly through them. Sticking on topics of, I suppose, purse bid situations, it's only right to talk about the past weekend, I suppose. Dalton Smith obviously stopping Jose Zepeda. Especially after the fight, in all fight week, a lot of the build-up, boxer Adam Azim, are you going to take the fight? Eddie sent a big message to Adam Azim, McGuigan's and yourself on are you going to take the fight, on what's going to happen? As it stands, I suppose, after he's beaten Zepeda now, with the fight being ordered by the British Boxing Board of Control for the British title and the EBU for the European title, where does this situation stand, and what are you going to do with the fight?
I think, as you said, since he's beat Zepeda, he's now got the options on the table, and his team have, and I think the decision will be made this week. We've put our best foot forward. They know the money for each of the fights that we've put forward, and they'll make a decision. I think ultimately I'd be the same. Adam Azim he's a baby. He's a 21-year-old. And I'd want to catch him as early as possible as well. I believe he beats Dalton Smith. I believe he's a phenomenal talent. I've never seen anything like it. 10 fights in. Do I think he wipes the floor with him in 3 or 4 fights? Yes. Do I think a lot of boxing probably knows that the best chance is to catch him early? Yes. And so they're going to make the decision, and will make the decision that's best for Adam Azim. And again, I know it's similar to the Wardley Clarke thing, but ultimately we want to see the biggest fights. As a promoter, selfishly, we want to see Dalton Smith against Adam Azim. It's a massive gate, it's a massive night, it generates the most money. But ultimately, we present the options, and no promoter is going to tell a team what to do, never mind a promoter that doesn't represent them. And so, yeah, look, I think, again, we know what's going on. And of course, you know, I would be the same. I'd love to. I think the best thing to do is to try and catch Adam early, because he is so young.
So you'd be fully, if that fight, so you'd be fully confident taking the fight next, if that's the option on the table then.
Yeah, listen, I believe Adam Azim wins that fight. So if that's the option that's chosen, we're all for it. All we can do as a promoter is lay what options are available out, and he has some big options. And but as I say, the pressure or the onslaught or the bullying, so to speak, isn't going to make a difference to the decision that the team make. And but I am the same in terms of, if I was in their shoes with a 27, 28-year-old seasoned fighter, then I'd want to try and see this young buck coming through that's making all the headlines, that's got a bigger profile, that's, you know, already making headlines. I'd want to get him as early as possible as well, so I do get that.
Absolutely. And Ben, I did want to talk about a topic with yourself. I suppose in January, around Michaela Meyer and Natasha Jonas fight week, an article was released by the Times. We were concerned to your links with obviously convicted fraudster Mazhar Majeed. That article came. There was 2 articles that came out on that fight week. Recently, we did have another article of an ongoing investigation regarding money being sent to third-party authorities that nobody, I suppose, that hasn't been disclosed who that third party is. I suppose, can you care to comment on what those rumours are?
Look, I will, because it's hard to work out what the wrongdoing is that's been attacked. I mean, the person in question has been in the sport for a long time, a lot longer than I was, and for us, we know where it's coming from. It's a clear agenda. We're a young business trying to break into a sport that many would dream of trying to break into. There's a lot of characters in the sport that represent fighters, and this feels targeted and feels like an attack. But as I say, we are getting legal advice on it. We know where it's coming from, and all we can do, and I've had to come through so much to even get to this position, and people wouldn't believe there's a reason why decades and decades it's been the same guys in the US and the EU. It's so hard to break into an established industry at the best of times, never mind something like this. So we've had all sorts thrown at us that some people will see, some people won't see. All we can do is keep delivering for our fighters, keep putting on the biggest shows that we possibly can, and ultimately, unfortunately, the more success we have, the more that will be thrown at us, but I believe it will be dealt with, and as I say, we know where it's coming from.
Is it a concern for your image?
I think that's what it's been intended to do. That's what the intention is, and as I say, we understand that and we get that, and I've come through so much, you know, not in so many instances to get to this position, and as I say, we know what it is, and yeah, I think it will all be obvious in due time, and I think anyone in boxing knows what's going on there.
Just a final one from myself, Joshua Buatsi, Anthony Yarde. We did see a tweet from Joshua Buatsi earlier in the week. I suppose there was also sort of strange rumours that come out saying Callum Smith versus Anthony Yarde was in agreed. I think that was all sort of smoke screen. But I suppose, what is the latest on that fight? How close are we?
Yeah, I don't believe, from speaking to both sides, that any other fight is being discussed. It's a great fight. It's a fight that ourselves, Queensberry, Josh Buatsi, everyone's agreed on. I think it will happen. The idea is to try and get in a room next week with both fighters, with both promoters. We're happy. I think everyone's happy with a 50-50 split, and it's just about tying up, I guess, on their side with Anthony and Queensberry. But I know no one else is looking at any other fight. I saw those rumours as well. But we know what the fans want to see. We know the fight the fans want to see. Everyone's desperate to make it. Everyone wants to make it. I believe we're going to see it, and hopefully we'll see it this summer.
Ben, top man, appreciate taking time to speak to me, and yeah, good to catch up with you again, mate. Top man, thank you. Cheers.